Good day everyone. Today I will going to discuss area of a plane region. So I have here an example. Find the area of a plane region bounded by the curves y is equal to x squared and y is equal to 2x minus x squared. So first thing first, let's graph them so that we can see what we're dealing with. So by looking to our functions, we can possibly tell what our graphs looks like. But to make it sure, let's graph it one by one. So let us graph first for the function y is equal to x squared. So y is equal to x squared. Suppose that we have -1, 0, 1 as the values of our x, and from these values let's find its corresponding y values. So in finding the value of y, we will just substitute the value of our x in the given function. So we have here y is equal to x squared. And so first, if our x is -1, our y is +1. When our x is 0, 0 squared is equal to 0. So the value of our y when x is 0 is 0. When x is +1, so +1 squared is +1. So when x is +1, the value of our y is +1. So we have here x and y values. So from these x and y values, let us point it in our Cartesian plane. So I have here a Cartesian plane. Okay, to graph this, so we have x is a -1 and y is +1. So x is -1, so this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis. So when x is -1, our y is +1. So -1 and +1. So the point is here, this part, in this part. Then when x is equal to 0, our y is 0. So let us put the point here. Then for x is equal to 1, our y is +1. Okay. Okay, we're done in pointing the values of our x and y. Now, we're going to connect these points. So this is now our y is equal to x squared graph. So as you can see, our x squared function is a parabola. So now let's proceed to our second function, which is y is equal to 2x minus x squared. So apply the same process. So suppose that we have x is equal to -1, 0, 1, and 2. So from these values of x, we will going to find its corresponding y values. So same process, just substitute for the values of x in our function. So we have here 2x minus x squared. So y is equal to 2x minus x squared. So when our x is -1, so 2 times 1 minus 1 squared. So 2 times 1 is 2 minus 1 squared, negative. Okay, so 2 times -1 is -2 minus -1 squared is +1. So -2 minus 1 is equal to -3. So for x is equal to -1, the value of our y is -3. Then for x is 0, so 2 times 0 is 0 minus 0 squared, 0, so 0 minus 0 is 0. So for x is equal to +1, so we have here 2 times 1 minus 1 squared. 2 times 1 is 2 minus 1 squared is 1, so we have 1. And for x is equal to +2, so we have 2 times 2 minus 2 squared is equal to 2 times 2 is 4 minus 2 squared is 4. So 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. Okay, so when x is +2, the value of our y is 0. So now we have the values of our x and y. So same process, let's point it in our Cartesian plane so that we can identify its graph. So when x is -1, our y is -3. So when x is -1, our y is -3. Then when x is 0, our y is 0 here. Then when x is 1, y is 1, okay, here. Then when x is 2, our y is 0, so 2, 0 here. Then let's connect the points. So as you can see, this graph now is our y is equal to 2x minus x squared function, and it is also a parabola, but 2x minus x squared function is a parabola downward. So it is parabola downward because of its negative sign here. So now we are done to our graph. Next, let's proceed to the next step of solving our area, which is finding our close interval values. So our close interval values here is the points where our two functions intersect. So what are those values? We can probably tell from this graph, but just to make sure, let's set the function equal to each other and solve. So let's equate the two functions. So we have here 2x minus x squared is equal to x squared. Combined like terms, so we have here like terms, so transpose, so 2x is equal to x squared plus, I'm going to transpose this, x squared. Then x squared plus x squared is equal to 2x squared. Copy 2x. Then after that, divided both sides by 2. Okay, so cancel out. So we have now x is equal to x squared. Then next step is equate this equation to 0. So we have here x squared transpose x. So we have here, it would become negative x equals to 0. Then factor out this equation. So we have x times x minus 1. Then our x is equal to 0. Then become x minus 1 is equal to 0. Then transpose negative 1 because we are now finding for the value of our x. So we have here x is equal to positive 1. So we have here x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1 as our interval. So now we have our graph, and we have also identified the points of our close interval, which is 0 and 1. So let us proceed to our next step, which is identifying the upper bound and the lower bound functions. Okay. Note that upper bound is always in the upper part of the graph, and lower bound is always in the lower part of the graph. So from our graph, so we will going to find the area of this shaded region. So from our graph, this part here is our upper bound because it's on the upper part of our graph. And this one here is our lower bound because it's on the lower part of our graph. So we have here our upper bound, which is, okay, this graph is our upper bound, which is the function 2x minus x squared. So this function here is our upper bound. And our lower bound is this graph, which is the graph of the function x squared. So after identifying our upper bound and lower bound function, let us now proceed in solving for the area bounded by the curves y is equal to x squared and y is equal to 2x minus x squared by applying this formula. A is equal to integral from a to b times upper bound minus lower bound dx. So after this, we will going to substitute for the value of a, b, and for the value of our upper bound and lower bound. So our AB here is our closed interval, which is 0 and 1, where 0 is our A and 1 is our B. So we have here area is equal to integral from 0 to 1 times the upper bound, which is 2x minus x squared, minus the value of our lower bound, which is x squared dx. Then combine like terms. So we have here area is equal to integral from 0 to 1 times 2x, then negative x squared minus x squared is equal to negative 2x squared dx. Then now we can integrate this equation. So we have here area is equal to, okay, integration of 2x is 2x 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1 minus integration of 2x squared, which is 2x squared plus 1 over 2 plus 1 dx. Okay, evaluated from 0 to 1. So we have here area is equal to 2x squared over 2 minus 2x cubed over 3, evaluated from 0 to 1. So cancel. We have here area is equal to x squared minus 2x cubed over 3, evaluated from 0 to 1. Okay, now let's evaluate this equation at 1 and at 0. So we will going to apply f of b minus f of a. So we have your area is equal to, we will just substitute the value of 1 on our x variable. So we have here 1 squared minus 2 times 1 cube over 3 minus, and our 0. So we have here 0 squared minus 2 times 0 cube over 3. So area is equal to 1 squared is equal to 1 minus 1 cube is equal to 1 times 2. So we have here 2 over 3 minus 0 squared is 0, then 0 cube is 0 times 2, 0, then 0 divided by 3 is 0. So we have here 0 minus 0 is equal to 0. So A is equal to over 3, then negative 2 plus 3. 3 times 1 is equal to 3. So we have here area is equal to negative 2 plus 3 is 1 over 3 square units. So the value of area of a plane region bounded by the curves y is equal to x squared and y is equal to 2x minus x squared is equal to 1/3 square units. And that would be all. Thank you.